Nation, Hebrew Kingdom Building.
goes into plagues of the locusts in chapter 10. And you saw how stubborn Pharaoh was, boy. You saw how Pharaoh, boy, he was stiff necked, man. He wasn't trying to do nothing. Then Yahuwah hit him with a plague of darkness. But there was light in Yasharel, wasn't there? He said, "Will the dog wag his tongue against Yasharel?" And Yahuwah said he is going to make a difference between Mitzrayim and Yisrael. And I submit we are in those days where Yahuwah is making a major difference between Mitzrayim and Yisrael. For real. Then you saw the death of the firstborn was announced. That's when it was declared. Because that was declaration. That's all it was. I know that's all it was. When Moshe went before Pharaoh, he was like, "Hey, let my people go, or else this is going to happen." It was in a sense, it was a declaration. So yeah, I'm gonna take out all your firstborn. Like, this was huge. This was a battle of seed. This was a battle of the seed of the serpent versus the seed of the promise. The seed of the woman versus the seed of the serpent. You see what I'm saying? Remember that was declared in Genesis 3? He shall bruise your heel. Yeah. So this is something that you saw this is from all throughout the scriptures. So this started since throughout Bereshit. You saw this battle ever since it was proclaimed in Genesis 3. It was this battle of the seed, and the battle was for dominion. The seed of the serpent versus the seed of the woman. Did Yahuwah create the Malachim and tell them to be fruitful and multiply and have dominion on the earth? Oh. Did Yahuwah, let me ask you again. Did the scripture say, let me say it this way. Did the scripture say that Yahuwah created the Malachim and told them to be fruitful and multiply and have dominion on the earth? Y'all are correct. Did Yahuwah create Adam and Eve and tell them to be fruitful and multiply and have dominion on the earth? Right. So let's go to give me Bereshit 6, Bakir Lou. So if the scriptures don't say that Yahuwah created the Malachim and told them to be fruitful and multiply and to have dominion on the earth, why did the Malachim come down and lay with the woman so that they can be fruitful and multiply and have dominion on the earth? Y'all see the high level of rebellion that was? They were coming and they were trying to take the place of the authority, the role and dominion that Yahuwah has set apart for us to have. The very position of the opposition was to take your position. Oh man, I hope that made sense. Let me say that. I'm gonna slow it down some more. So the position of the opposition was to take your position. You got it? Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole position of the opposition, was to take your place. That was the whole goal. That was the intentions of the heart, was to replace you. The fallen ones was trying to keep you from even being born. You even being here I'm talking about it is a thorn in the fallen one's side, y'all. Y'all just even existing. It's this war of seed versus seed. It started since Bereshit. It was declared against the serpent from the beginning when Adam and Eve sinned. It's going to be this enmity between your seed and her seed. And you saw it happen. So that happened to Adam and Eve. Then you see Cain and Abel happen. Then you move forward, and now Noah. We've been talking about Noah for a few weeks now, but it's important because, number one, the Most High showed us Noah. We've seen him. Multiple people, multiple times. And so then you get to Bereshit chapter 6 and read verse 1. Bakir Lou.
Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth.
When men began to do what?
Multiply.
Ain't that what Yahuwah told Adam and Eve? Be fruitful and multiply. And what was after that? Have dominion and kibosh the earth and subdue it, right? So what this is showing when you read verse 1, that actually it looked like that men were being successful at doing that, huh? Read it over again.
Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born to them, that the sons of Eluah saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose.
So it wasn't until then when it looked like mankind was doing what they were supposed to do and being fruitful and multiplying and taking dominion, that's when the Father was like, oh, hold on. Oh, snap. That stuff is working. Let us go and let us take dominion. Let us be fruitful and multiply. That was the great plan that you saw in Enoch. And here too, it's in Torah too. It's right here, we're reading it. But it's also in Enoch. Emphasize a little more in Enoch too. And so they go, these fallen ones, the fallen Malachim, they go, and then they lay with these women, and the goal is to produce this seed to counteract Yahuwah's seed that he's designed and set apart and commanded to have dominion on the earth. And we talked about this last week. Y'all, it looked like it worked. It looked like it worked. Because what happened was the whole world was given over to the fallen ones now. The whole world was subdued by the fallen ones. So then humans were selling out to the fallen ones. That's these daughters that were marrying them, and then they was coming with this seed. They were bringing out this seed. And then the fallen ones were giving this hidden knowledge to the people that they were in covenant with and to their seed. And this hidden knowledge caused them to have great dominion. That's what we were talking about last week. Like, for example, we were talking about how was the West able to just take over the whole world? Well, they were the first ones who had guns. How did they come with guns? They are in covenant with the fallen ones, y'all. Come on, y'all, just think about this. What about airplanes? We did this stuff because we were born into it. We just think this is normal. No, I don't know where they come up with an airplane. No, we need to figure this out. Because listen, for thousands of years we rode horses. Thousands of years. All of a sudden, within, 100 years, you got vehicles, airplanes, bombs, atomic bombs, missiles. This is all in a span, thousands and thousands of years. We've been fighting with bow and arrows and horses and swords. I'm talking thousands of years, since the day one. Since before the flood of Noah, the fallen ones gave mankind swords and spears and stuff. Then all of a sudden, in the last 100 years after this last captivity, it wasn't until we came into captivity. Y'all know when we first came into captivity here, everybody was still horses and swords. Right. Wasn't no such thing as a bomb yet, or even an airplane, or even a vehicle, like as far as a motor. Everybody was riding horses still. Yeah, we got to understand this stuff crazy. Just think when you think about it. But it was when we came into captivity over here, something shifted, y'all. Something shifted that was different than any of the other times you can read of, at least after the flood, in the scriptures. after the flood, though. All of a sudden, oh snap! Now the places where we were in captivity, they didn't. Oh snap! They done went to space. They done came up with airplanes. They done came up with vehicles, or the motor vehicle. I guess they call it. Who made the Hananiah? You gonna get a spanking? Quiet, quiet, hush. You've been the only one crying this whole time. So let me ask y'all this question: who made the first car, motor vehicle? Man, see, he knows. He knows. So you know that Henry Ford, he has a whole book going hard against a certain people group. Y'all know that? Yeah, y'all can look it up, but he used to go hard against the Ish people. The Ish people. They not the real people, all that stuff. He used to go hard. Yeah. Yeah. The first person to come up with a vehicle, y'all, this all surrounds around us. Listen, y'all. When you read Genesis 6 and where them fallen ones were at, Malek Yahusha talked about this. This is where I first heard this from. But I submit this really is what it is, y'all. This is the original place before the flood. It was the Americas, y'all. The original place where Enoch and them was at, where Noah and them was at before the flood hit, where all those fallen ones came down with, that is here. It's the Americas. It's the Americas. I didn't have time, you know, that's why haven't been doing slides in a few weeks, but most high willing, you know, I can show y'all some stuff, y'all. There were dinosaurs here. You can look at just ancient artifacts from South America. They literally had like dinosaurs in their pottery. Dinosaur bones. You're talking about, in the Smithsonian, there was so many giants found here as far as bones. This was the prehistoric areas here. You go and look at places like the Grand Canyon. There were ancient civilizations there. Like, I'm not talking about like, there's evidence that there was like real full civilizations there, like ancient, right, like cities. There's evidence that there was possibly cities in that area. And you know, so on and so forth. The pre-flood world was here. It was here. Oh, go ahead. You have something? Go ahead.
So it's funny because I was just looking at that video earlier this Boca. What he was talking about is gopher wood. It's one of the things he brought up. Because Noah built the ark with gopher wood. He's like, where's gopher wood found? Florida. It's in Florida. That's where you find gopher wood. So then your mind would say, man, wait a second. I thought Noah was over there in Iran when he built the ark. Nah, ain't no gopher wood in Iran. It was in Florida.
The ark landed. We got to remember the ark landed in the areas surrounding the east, like Iran. Some people believe it was on, I think, one of the mountains. I think that's where Ararat is or something. Yeah. Because Iran, y'all know that's where like Babylon is. So it makes sense. It probably did. That probably is where the ark rested at. Because we know after the flood receded, a nation developed in Babylon. You see what I'm saying? Which is literally the border of Iran and Iraq. That's where ancient Babylon was at. So it seems like all the first civilizations was over there. Babylon, Sumer, ancient Sumerian, you know, so on and so forth. But listen, y'all, that was after the flood. Y'all, there were civilizations here before that. But they were here in the Americas. So when the flood hit, Noah was in the flood and his family, and the waters carried them over to the east. Yeah, they was on a boat for how long? 100 and something days. They was on a boat for a long time. Y'all, the waters took them way east, and they settled down in the east. So just think about this, y'all. That's why it was such a big deal when Yahuwah said, "I will take you back to Mitzrayim, you know, a place of bondage in ships." It said, I will take you back. That's what Deuteronomy 28 says. On ships, like, oh, that meant we was, it was somewhere else that we've been there before. I know we were thinking, well, we've been to Egypt before. But, you know, the thing about Egypt is that it don't take no ship to get there from Yasharel. That's the blessed border. Remember, Abraham he just went there. It wasn't no ship needed. When he needed to go to Mizraim, he just went there. Same thing with Yitzhak. No, actually, Yahuwah had to tell him not to go there because it was just easy to go to Mizraim. It's right there. But it was this prophecy that man, I'm telling you, if y'all come against me, the ultimate judgment, I'm gonna take y'all back to Mizraim and ships. This was like the ultimate judgment, the ultimate captivity. And Yahushua HaMashiach prophesied it. He said the last days would be like the days of Noah. So I submit what was being veiled in what Yahushua was saying is that, man, the Most High going to judge Yasharel to where they're going to have to go back to the lands of all the fallen ones and be in captivity in the land where all the fallen Malachim are at. Isn't Babylon called the place of every unclean bird, the cage of every unclean? Let's go there real quick. Kazayan, Revelation 18. This is what Malek Musha was bringing out in that last teaching they posted. So if y'all haven't seen it, definitely get us the last one he did on the kingdom colonization. All right, let me know when everybody there. All right, Bakira Lou, let's get it.
Starting verse 1.
Come.
After these things, I saw another Malak coming down from the Shamayim, having great authority, and the Eretz was filled, and the Eretz was illuminated with his glory. He cried mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons.
Has become what?
Dwelling place for demons.
It has become what?
A dwelling place for demons.
And what else?
A prison for every foul spirit.
And what else?
And a cage for every unclean and hated bird.
Go back. And what else?
Go back.
The last one. Say it again.
In a cage for every unclean and hated bird.
And then the one thing right before that one.
All righty. A prison for every foul spirit.
That's it. Say that one again.
A prison for every foul spirit.
Okay, keep going.
In a cage for every unclean and hated bird.
Man. Y'all see this? Okay, so why is Babylon the place where all the unclean demons are at? Could have been because that's where the fallen ones was at. That's where they originally came, to lay with the woman. Because demons are just the ruachs or the spirits of the Nephilim that were killed. The fallen ones were bound up. It says a cage for every unclean and hated bird. They're talking about ruach. If y'all know, the unclean birds represent unclean ruachs. But it's like a cage. It's like a place of bondage for these fallen ones. That's here. So now, man, now that makes sense. Why the last and harshest, most worst, most brutal captivity, out of all the captivities, we had to get sent back here. The people that were in covenant with the fallen ones, they were going and seeking Israelites. They were going to West Africa, y'all, seeking us to bring us here by the droves and ships, y'all. That was the judgment. Think about it. The Most High blessed us because we're the seed of Noah. That's why Noah been coming through and visiting people in their visions. Because we are his seed. with his seed of Shem, the promised seed. Noah, to preserve his seed, Yahuwah blessed him to get on the ship in freedom. And he was on the ship 100 and some days. I don't remember exactly. Got to look it up again. Maybe 150 days. Might have been longer than that. Some months. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, something along those lines. So that'll be about 5 months, 5 biblical months, to freedom to go into the east. From this place of bondage to a place of freedom on to the east. You see what I'm saying? And so the ultimate judgment of captivity was to be taken in ships, but this time, instead of going into freedom, you're going back into bondage. Slave ships. It was the largest forced migration in world history. People crazy. How in the world something like that was to happen and you don't think the scriptures was going to have that, cover that? It was never anything like that ever happened in that history. When you're talking about the transatlantic slave trade, it was never that many people coming over in droves on ships coming over to the Americas like that. How in the world? I just don't, I'm going back to my debating days back when, talking to, other nations about how we the children of Israel, they just couldn't believe the translated slave trade could possibly be in the scriptures. Yeah, there was nothing that ever happened like that, ever on earth. And you don't think the scriptures is going to cover something that major? Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people there was never any kind of forced migration that ever happened like that. You don't think the scriptures are going to have that in there? No, you should be tripping if you don't see it in the scriptures. Something like that happened. No, that can't be in the book. You guys just try to force your own. That's your interpretation. That's your truth.
Take it out of context.
But it's almost like the other nations, they had to pull us because they were in covenant with the fallen ones. Why do you think the fallen ones had them pulling us over here? They're like, if we can just get them in this land, if we could just get them here, we can make them slaves forever. If we can just get them here. Because the fallen ones, they were caged here. They're here. If you read Enoch, man, the Most High judged them. They were put in bondage. They were all kind of things. They were caged here. If we can just get them over here. Maybe their mindset was, man, they'll be slaves forever, for real. When you read the scriptures, you don't hear a whole lot about people, not until you get to the Brit Hadashah. You don't hear about a whole lot of people being filled with unclean spirits and stuff and possessed by demons and stuff. You don't hear a lot about that when you read the Torah and Tanakh, do you? People be rebellious, people be wicked, but you don't hear a whole lot about people just being like filled with unclean demons and stuff. You see King Saul. It ain't till you get to the Brit Hadashah when they're in captivity by the Romans, your European kingdom. And now everybody is filled with demons. And all of a sudden now you got these soldiers, 12 deep, who, oh snap, they have dominion over these things? How? Sons of light coming and actually having dominion over these things. So let's go back to the rainbow, okay? So, it's a through rainbow. Okay, so I got where Kaya? Oh, I told her. So can we do a full arch? Like this. So y'all remember why she's doing that. So y'all remember the Hebrew word for rainbow is? Kashet. Anybody remember the breakdown? Oh, okay.
I remember it.
Wait, hold on, but I heard you. Say it one more time. All right, she need a microphone. That ain't gonna work. There we go.
Yeah, Khan. Kafel Hudim, dad, and Hudim where it's due. Dominion on the Eretz through the children.
Hallelujah. That's not what I'm looking for, though.
Counting, pressing against the revelation.
No, that's stiff neck. That's cachet.
Stiff-neck. Oshem is pressing the nation, light against the dark. All right.
The breakdown for cachet, not cachet.
Sons of the
Kashet.
light has dominion. The sons of the light has dominion over the darkness.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that is true.
I'm out of notes, so that's it. That's pretty much.
Okay, well, add this to your notes. Oh, go ahead, Simka.
The appointed time for the destruction according to the covenant.
That's it. You got it? So it's Kuf, which is the appointed times. The Sheen is like the pressing. The Tav is the covenant. According to the covenant, it's the appointed time. Say it one more time, Simka.
The appointed time for the destruction according to the covenant.
Yeah. Like, listen, that's what we're reading about right now in Shemot. Is that there was an appointed time for the destruction. And so the Most High is destroying Mitzrayim. He's destroying it so bad that even Pharaoh's people like, man, don't you see Pharaoh? Egypt is destroyed. Let them go, man. Let them people go. Because it's this thing about seed. Oh yeah, you may bruise the heel of Yaakov, but Yaakov is going to crush the head of the serpent and its seed. Most High was like, "Yep, we're gonna crush your head." I'm like, "Yeah. You bruised Yaakov. You bruised the heel. Okay. Judgment. I'm gonna mess up y'all leader. Listen, this is what Most High did. This how like you can't outdo Yahuwah. He took the leader of Mitzrayim and just messed him up, hardened his heart, just jacked him all up. So now Mitzrayim just got a toe up leader, super narcissist, just wicked. Not logical, overly arrogant. He thinks he's a lure everything. And that's who the Most High, oh snap, did that ring a bell? Oh man. Harden his heart, and they're like, okay, I'm use this leader to basically destroy the judge Mitzrayim. And because of Pharaoh's stubbornness, wickedness, and not willingness to receive a word, everybody, Most High basically killed everybody almost. He killed all the firstborn, y'all. That was the last part of the Torah portion. Go ahead.
So just real quick on Rome. So I had mentioned I was gonna start looking into this thing after the what call was that? No Hebrew Left Behind. So you talked about how Rome, you didn't see a lot of like unclean spirits until Rome came. So check this out. So Rome actually came to the Americas. The Romans were in the Americas around 500 BC. There were a few artifacts, because I was like, man, if all the unclean, so if all the, hopefully I was able to follow that thought, because that was huge, man. If all the unclean spirits were bound in America according to Enoch, right? So That's what Musha was saying. Like Enoch, you had the Nephilim. The Nephilim, Nephilim laid with the daughters of men. They created the giants. When the giants were slain, it says that their ruach would wander about the earth seeking rest, but would find none, and they would be dry and seeking water, seeking rest. That's why Yahushua's like, when an unclean ruach come out, it goes through dry lands, seeking rest, but it will not find any. So anyway, so these spirits were in this land, but you see Rome come over here. So I'm gonna just read some of my notes here. It says, so the artifacts that were found, it was an ancient Roman sword and crossbow bolts were found in Nova Scotia. I didn't know what that was. Apparently, it's in Canada, which is a part of the Americas. It's like right there. So, and then there was a Carthaginian King Hanno II left stone slabs, or I'll just say stone slabs. It says in the quote unquote new world, but really it's the old world. That was around 500 BC. So it would make sense that they come back with all these unclean creatures. Now the thing about Rome is their military was known to be just like something crazy, something wild. Created all these different weapons, because you see Hannibal, one of my sons, and he liked to watch Hannibal, this is a cartoon thing. But anyway, you see Hannibal really rising up against Rome. All of a sudden, they start advancing in weaponry, and then they wind up destroying that revolution. I think he was Carthaginian as well. But nevertheless, it's just interesting to me that you pointed that out, because it's like, man, they probably came over here and then made these covenants with these fallen ones. And then they went back to the east. They took over Greece, which that wasn't, I mean, at that time, Greece was a little bit more shattered, because, you know, Alexander the Great had died, and then you had his 4 generals take over, and they hated each other. So but they still took over Greece, because even while his 4 generals were in power and against one another, wasn't nobody else doing that. Could nobody else overthrow Greece? You even see that in Daniel's vision. Greece was the leopard with the 4 eagle wings. Maybe it was 6. But nevertheless, the 4 eagle wings on the leopard, that was Greece. But it wasn't until Rome came that was just like, because even the way it describes Rome in Daniel is interesting. Because you had Babylon, you had Persian Medes, then you had Greece. Each one of them was an animal, right? I think Babylon was a lion. And then the Persian Medes, they were a bear. And then the Grecians, they were a leopard. But then you get this 4th kingdom that was like, Daniel was like, this is like I don't know what this is. It got 10 horns, and the horns talk, and then the horn would fall off, and then another horn would come, and it was just a dragon kind of thing that rose up. He didn't know what it was. And I submit that was because of the covenants that they had made when they got to North America. Because when they got there, all of a sudden it changed. That wasn't even, Daniel don't even know how to describe it.
Oh, no, hold on. No, you going somewhere with that, hold on. Was you about to say something about the statue? Oh, now go ahead. You gonna talk about the statue?
The toes?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, yeah, so just real quick then. So the toes, this is why, so the statue was gold, silver, bronze, iron, and then clay mixed with iron. Man, come on, man. Huh? Miry clay mixed with iron. That is I think that's a sign, because it says, it's a weird thing that it say, and you don't read this except for out of Genesis. So when it talks about the toes, he says, they will try to intermingle with man, but as miry clay does not stick with iron, or vice versa, neither will that. They will intermingle with the seed of man, is what it says. It says the seed of man, and you only see that in Genesis. So it's like this kingdom is gonna do this thing that's like forbidden. And that go back to why they was marrying in the days of Noah. But that was it. It's just making sense.
Oh, no, you're right on it. It all started just flooding when you start talking. So I'm glad you brought that out. So what he's talking about is in Daniel, there's this, we just got to go there, man. I think it was chapter 2. All right, let's just go there real quick. Yeah, we need to see the statue, okay? And then Daniel chapter 7 is the one with the animals, right? The 4 beasts. Now let's look at this. I want y'all to see what he's talking about actually in the scriptures. This is significant. This is it. It's actually confirming what I was bringing out. So, if you go to Daniel chapter 2 and go down, I think it's like toward the end where you. 42. Because y'all got to think about this. Now listen, let me say this first. Now remember we've been talking about the rainbow, right? The coat of many colors. How Joseph had the coat of many colors, which was we talked about last week as a sign, like Shoshone just brought out on the notes, is a sign of dominion on the Eretz through childbearing, through seed, because Yahuwah told us to be fruitful and to multiply and have dominion. So you know being fruitful and multiplying is associated with dominion, having seeds, having children. That's why the fallen ones came and tried to do what? They try to do it themselves, be fruitful and multiply so they can have what? Dominion. Joseph had the coat of many colors, which is a sign of dominion, right? Yahuwah showed him the visions and the dreams that he was going to have dominion. He came, he told everybody, he told his brothers, they hated him for it. They even tried to stop it. But you can't stop Yahuwah's plan. Even with all that his brothers tried to do to stop it, what happened? He ended up having dominion. How did he have the dominion? He had the dominion through things that was downloaded to him from the Shamaim. The same thing that the fallen was trying to use to have dominion. The things that they knew from being in the Shamaim, they try to, leak out that information to the people that have dominion. But Joseph was still connected to the Shamaim. He had the coat of the many colors, which we talked about was associated with the rainbow, being clothed with light. So what happened? Pharaoh came with a dream, and Joseph had the insight. He had the interpretation. That's how he got the dominion right. See, the Pharaoh was wise enough to know, oh snap, this dude has a connection to the Shamaim still. Remember, he was trying to use his chief, what do they call them, sorcerers and whatever they call them, magicians. They're in covenant with the fallen ones. They're using old stuff from the Shamaim, because the fallen ones ain't connected to the Shamaim no more. So all they can do is give what they learned while they was in the Shamaim to the magicians and all that, and so they were able to do different things and stuff like that. But then it's like, man, this dream came. No, you still had to be connected to be able to deal with that now. The Pharaoh was wise enough to know, oh snap, he on a whole nother level than these dudes who's connected with the fallen Malachim. We're gonna raise you up to be leader. He had dominion through proving to Pharaoh he still had the access to the revelation. See what I'm saying? Because that's what dominion is all about. Remember, the chief over the access to revelation, Radah. Why am I bringing that up? Because that's what happened with Daniel. The same thing. He had the coat of many colors, I submit. As far as Ruachli, I don't know if he literally had any coat of many colors, but it don't say anything about that. But I'm saying Ruachli, he had it because he did the same thing. He did the same thing. He came, he was in captivity to Babylon, but all of a sudden, Nebuchadnezzar had this dream. Y'all know the story? Because this is what Daniel chapter 2 is about. Nebuchadnezzar. Y'all familiar with that story? Okay, he had the dream, and he was just like, oh man, I don't know what it means. And it was this statue. The statue was made out of these different metals. It was gold, silver, then it got down to bronze, then it got down to the clay, and iron mixed with clay. It was iron, then iron mixed with clay. That's what it was, yeah. And so Nebuchadnezzar was like, man, I'm trying to, so he went to his magicians, just like Pharaoh did back in the day. Babylon did the same thing. Nebuchadnezzar went to the magicians. They didn't know, because he's like, no, I'm not going to tell you the dream. That's wild. That was wisdom, because he's like, if you really got a connection to the Shamaim still, you could tell me the dream. He knew the dream came from the Most High. So he's like, you should be able to tell me the dream. And the people they dealing with, them fallen ones, they don't got that connection no more. Man, maybe you can, I don't know, make the staff turn to a snake or something. Show. They got old tricks, but you don't got no more connection. You rebel. The fallen ones there. And so Daniel God downloaded the whole dream. He was able to tell Nebuchadnezzar the dream, and not only that, but give him the interpretation. And he proved to King Nebuchadnezzar that he had the access to the revelation, so he deserves the dominion. So he raised Daniel up just like Joseph got raised up. See what I'm saying? All right, so with all that being said, let's go to verse all right, let's read verse 43, Bakir Lou. So this is what he saw.
As you saw iron mixed with ceramic clay, they will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not adhere to one another, just as iron does not mix with clay. And in the days of these kings, the allure of Shamaim will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed.
All right, so he saw a statue, and the head was gold, and then the next part was silver. I think the body was silver. Silver, and then the torso was bronze. Oh man. And then the legs was iron. Then the feet was, they said like some miry clay, iron mixed with clay. So if y'all know anything about history, this is going into the materials that was really used a lot during these different ages. So you had during the days of Babylon, literally had, the ancient Babylon literally streets made of gold. They used gold for everything. You know, they were trying to basically probably be like the Shamaim. And then you had, Medes, Persians, and stuff like that. They used a lot of silver. Then you had, y'all probably familiar with the Bronze Age. You know what I'm saying? The middle, I believe that's, the bronze was Greece. Yeah, Greece. And then you had iron was Rome. Y'all heard of the Iron Age? You know, Rome was big on using iron, all their swords and everything. They dominated during the Iron Age. That's why they basically had dominion in that sense. Then you have this era with the toes as iron mixed with miry clay. Today, and that's what they do. They mix, that's all concrete is. They mix iron rebar with clay. Concrete is the main building thing they use as far as foundations and everything here in Babylon. This is the era we in. It's talking about Babylon. This is where we at. Okay, this is the vision that Daniel was able to interpret for King Nebuchadnezzar. Now read verse 43 again, because he's giving an interpretation of what this is the era we in. This is where we are.
Sir.
These were all captivities too. So, we were in Babylonian captivity, Medo-Persian captivity, Grecian captivity. These all had us, all these nations had us in captivity. Y'all know Rome had us in captivity. That's when 70 AD happened, and then you have this is a different era. It's like the last captivity. And it's an iron mixed with clay, it's cement. Ain't no streets made of gold in Babylon. No, you're getting concrete. Iron mixed with clay. They put an iron rebar in there and laying clay out. This is where we at. This is the time we in. We at the end. This is the last part of the statue. Y'all understand that? Okay. So read verse 40 now.
43?
Read verse 40 and keep going and go down to like 43. So he's interpreting the dream for the king. This is what's going to cause Daniel to be the head, the top dog. Daniel becomes the top dog in Babylon after this. Mm-hmm. Verse 40.
And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, inasmuch as iron breaks in pieces and shatters everything, and like iron that crushes. That kingdom will break in pieces and crush all the others. Whereas you saw the feet and toes, partly of potter's clay and partly of iron. The kingdom shall be divided, yet the strength of the iron shall be in it, just as you saw the iron mixed with ceramic clay. Verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were partly of iron and partly of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile.
This is where we at. Keep going.
And you saw iron mixed with ceramic clay. They will mingle with the seed of men.
Say that again.
They will mingle with the seed of men.
Say it again.
They will mingle with the seed of men,
Keep going.
but they will not adhere to one another, just as iron does not mix with clay.
All right, stay right. Hold your thought right there. So this is what peculiar I mean was talking about when it says they will mingle with the seed of men. That's a weird statement. Like, what are they talking about here? That's the same language used in Bereshit 6 when the fallen ones mingled with the seed of men. So it's something with this last captivity down here that we're in, where there's something weird going on, where is some things that are mingling with the seed of men. Okay, let me ask you this. So in Genesis 6, when they started mingling, when the fallen ones started mingling with the seed of men, ain't that what caused Yahuwah to destroy everybody? And redeem his people through the ark? Okay, let's keep reading what happens when they mingle the seed of men here. Let's read and see what happens. Verse 44.
And in the days of these kings, the Eluah of Shamaim will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed.
And in which days?
Which shall never be destroyed.
Go back, start
and in the
44
days,
again.
okay. And in the days of these kings, the Eluah of Shamaim will set up a kingdom.
Okay, stop there. This is important, y'all. For real, this is important. So it's saying, this is what Daniel's saying. In the days of this, that Yahuwah, the Eluah of heaven, will set up a kingdom during these days. Is when they start mingling with the seed of men, where there's something weird going on with demons and fallen ones and all these things. During this time, when it looked like everything is just tohu vabohu, chaos and disorder. In the midst of this captivity, it says that Yahuwah will set up a kingdom which shall never be what?
Destroyed.
And keep going, Bakir Lou.
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people. It shall break in pieces.
It shall do what?
It shall break in pieces.
Keep going.
And consume all these kingdoms.
And it shall what?
And it shall stand forever.
How long?
Forever.
How long?
Forever.
All right, keep going. Verse 45.
Inasmuch as you saw that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it broke in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great Eluah has made known to the king what will come to pass after this. The dream is certain, and its interpretation is sure.
He said this is certain and interpretation is sure. All right, so we didn't go through it's a 40-something verse, it's a long chapter. But basically what he's saying, this is what he's saying, y'all, because we didn't read the actual dream. We're just reading the interpretation. But basically the dream, I'll go ahead and I'll give it to y'all. He saw this statue, right? Then there was this stone that was cut out of, something like this, that was cut out of a mountain with no hands, and the stone struck the foot of the mountain and destroyed the whole statue. Did I say that right? It struck the foot of the statue, it destroyed the whole statue, and then that stone, it says it became a mountain, a great kingdom, basically. So that's what he was interpreting. He was trying to tell about how this kingdom, during the times of these times, will be raised up. that will never end. That was the stone, and it strikes the foot. It destroys this whole statue. So just like, somebody's about to say something? Okay, go ahead. Wait, let me say this. So, pass the mic to her while I'm saying this. So just like during the days of Noah, because Yahushua say the end will be like the days of Noah. This is what happened in the days of Noah. The fallen ones mingled themselves with the seed of men, and so then Yahuwah decided to redeem the people out in the ark and destroy the nations. The same thing is happening now. There's been a whole lot of stuff going on where the fallen ones are mingling themselves with the seed of women, with the seed of men, and now you have this kingdom being raised up. Wasn't this Pesach all about the birth of a kingdom? It was a eclipse that hit during Pesach, and it was Yahuwah showed signs in the Shamaim. And I'm gonna go into another thing surrounding Pesach after she said, go ahead, after she said what she got.
Shabbat Shalom. Honors what they're due, because we haven't done them. But I wanted to say that word stone is eben. And so what it being eben is it has to do with this covenant and with the bow. And it has to do that's why they keep saying it's time to reclaim the bow or to take back over it, because we're the ones, are the kingdom of sons that rise up. So that's why when Malek was talking about from the going down, from rising of the sun to the going down of the same, that's what all of this kind of ties back into, about how this kingdom of Eben, right, is going to come and hit the foot of all these other nations. These ones, these light, these bows, right? They're gonna come, and this light is gonna be a reflection of Yahusha that's gonna take back dominion over all the nations.
Yeah, that's right, ain't it? Yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right. So, what Uriah brought out was super important, y'all. What she just called was super important. I mean, like, megaton important. So, the Hebrew word, I want to make sure y'all understand what she's saying, because this is a revelation that Yahuwah blessed us with maybe 2 years ago or so, 2-3 years ago. So some of y'all might not fully know what she was saying. The Hebrew word for stone is eben. The stone that hit the statue and destroyed the statue and became a mound, that Hebrew word is eben, okay? Eben is Aleph, Bet, Nun. So you see eben is Aleph, Bet, Nun. That's Ab, Father, right? And then Bet, Nun, which is what? Ooh, that's... No. What is Bet, Nun? What does that spell? Son, Ben. So you got Ab and Ben in the word for stone, father and son. See what I'm saying? Turn our hearts, right. Turn the hearts of the fathers back to the sons, and the hearts of the sons back to the fathers. That was the stone that destroyed this statue. So that goes back to what we've been talking about, dominion through what? Children. The way we destroy the statue and become this great big mountain, this kingdom. Man, look. Nah, we gonna have to read. We got to read the actual dream. For real. Let's go up. I think it's in the beginning of the chapter. All right, verse 31. Is that right? I was going off what you said. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's read the dream. Okay. Go ahead, Bakir Lou. Is your mic on?
You, O king,
You know.
you, O king, were watching, and behold, a great image.
All right, a great image. Okay.
This great image, whose splendor was excellent, stood before you.
So y'all got to imagine this image being, with the splendor being excellent, though. Don't, imagine that gold being like just shining, just splendid, silver, like kabod. Okay, keep going.
And its form was awesome. This image's head was of fine gold,
All right, keep going.
its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze.
Okay, so his belly and thighs were bronze. So this area was bronze. His chest and arms was silver. I mean, this statue was crazy. It was like, just like made out of these precious stones. Keep going.
Its legs of iron,
Legs of iron. Keep going.
its feet partly of iron and partly of clay.
Feet of iron, partly clay. Let's keep going.
You watched while a stone was cut
That's the
out.
part I want y'all to read. All right, read it. Start over.
You watched while a stone was cut out without hands.
That's Eben. Father, sons. Keep going.
Which struck the image on his feet of iron and clay.
So where did it strike the image?
On the feet.
It didn't strike the image up here, did it? Didn't strike the image up here. It didn't strike the image during none of these. These are all different captivities we were in.
Yes, sir.
When Nebuchadnezzar received his dream, this was during the Babylonian captivity of Yasharel. Daniel's in captivity there in Babylon. So he's way up here during this time that Daniel received this understanding. But Daniel knows, oh snap, there's gonna be a time down here. But my descendants, man, they finna tear y'all up. It ain't gonna be in my time, but it's gonna come sometime. And you know that sometime is this time.
Hallelujah.
This is the time we in. All right, so the stone was, verse 34, so you see it says the stone was cut out without hands, and it struck the image on his feet of iron and broke them into pieces. Keep going, verse 35.
Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were crushed together and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors. The wind carried them away so that no trace of them was found. And the stone was struck, the image became a great mountain,
Yes, sir, became what?
became a great mountain,
Right.
and filled the whole
And
earth.
it did what?
Filled the whole earth.
Dominion through being fruitful and multiplying. That is how it always was supposed to be. This is what I was talking about. This is supporting everything I was talking about the Eretz. The Eretz, it was only supposed to be the Kodashim on the Eretz. Nothing else. It never was supposed to be wickedness on the Eretz. Yahuwah created the Eretz for his righteous people to be on there, to dwell there. It was not his will for the Eretz to be corrupted with evil. And so it was prophesied way back then that Yahuwah's going to get it back right. During these days, he's going to raise up a kingdom. So we're not going to read the interpretation again because we read that part. But now that we read the dream, don't it help you understand the interpretation better when he said that during these days, he was going to raise up a kingdom that will never end. That kingdom starts with the stone. It starts with Eben. It starts with through childbirth, being fruitful and multiplying. All right. So, man, the man hit me with this. She just hit me with it. I think it was right after she had the baby. Yeah, she was laying down and just hit me with this. It tripped me out. So, okay. So the rainbow is the sign of the dominion through childbirth. That's why after Yahuwah destroyed the world, he made a covenant with the seed he preserved, and the covenant was the sign of the covenant was the bow, the rainbow. So, Bakir Yamin, you had said you seen an upside down rainbow. Do you remember that? Yeah. When was that? That was at an offering?
I was a prayer. We was praying the Mishpaka call out. So it's like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Was there any other details or anything? You just saw the upside down rainbow?
I just saw a rainbow, and then I saw, it wound up being a moonbow But it was a
what?
rainbow that way, and then it was just an upside down moonbow.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, well, all right. All right. So, an upside down rainbow. Y'all see that? Ain't the menorah about the sons of light? Ain't the menorah about the bride of Yahusha? Yep. The upside down rainbow. Like, man, this is wild. Like, being clothed with light. The menorah. Dominion through children, through childbirth. The menorah was always a sign of, wasn't the menorah the sign of us being a light to the nations? How are you going to be a light to the nations if you're not the sons of light? The sons of light were the people when Yahuwah said, let there be light. That was the sons of light. Remember we talked about that? When Melech Yahusha had the revelation about that? They became a light to the nations. Because Yahuwah said, let there be light. Now you see why Yahusha kept saying, let your light shine before men. Y'all ever remember Roy G. Biv? Yeah, man hit me with this, man. I was like, what in the world? Y'all remember that? That's the colors of the rainbow spectrum. Red, orange, yellow, green. How many colors are in the rainbow spectrum? The menorah. The 7-branch menorah. You can look it up in any elementary school, whatever. The rainbow has seven lights that are associated with it. 7 spectrums. Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, whatever, man. That's the Every Academy teachers, man. They be on it. Oh, y'all, you ain't heard of that? Oh, you didn't go to school in Texas. Y'all probably just did. Y'all didn't teach y'all that. That's how that was. But it was 7 spectrums associated with the rainbow. You can look that up anywhere. That was elementary school for us. Yahuwah, man, Yahuwah made that covenant with Noah from the beginning. So could it have been the menorah was just a sign of the covenant inside the holy place? The upside down bow. It was just an extension of the sign of the covenant with Noah, y'all. And how Yahshua had dominion. Fathers and sons, that it would be the mountain will come from these people. That's why all throughout the scriptures, the menorah always represented what? Y'all know what the menorah represents in the scriptures, like in Revelation when it talks about Yahusha walks in the midst of the menorah? Yeah. The assemblies is basically the kingdom. The kingdom of the Shamayim. The assemblies is the kingdom of the Shamayim on the earth. It's Abraham's bosom, right? That's what the assemblies are, right?
So this is just super important because this is why we wrestle so much, because you got to realize. So why is this important? You got to realize where you are, because a lot of times we can forget. You think you just walking around in a through place where they build things, where you got your job, where you go to school, where you go to work, and we know that there's some problems in America, but we just kind of think that it's just problems. But no, you are in, this is the land of this cage where there is every unclean bird. Like you got the descendants of the Nephilim walking around. You got the descendants of the Nephilim walking around. This is why we do deliverance. Everybody in here at some point, I ain't talking about like some of the smaller ones, but for the adults, everybody in here at some point has either been or probably will go through a type of deliverance. That's because of where you are. It goes back to what they was talking about on the No Hebrew Left Behind. Like even Zerubbabel. Like if you read through, what is that?
Zechariah.
Yeah, that's right. And Zechariah. You'll read about Zerubbabel, and his name literally means sown in Babel. So because we were sown in Babel, we have all these things that are working against us. This is why you have to be very diligent. So what this lesson is really talking about is like function. It's talking about purpose. It ain't just like, man, revelation. It's like, nah, this is your function. This is your purpose. This is why you got to pay attention to what you're watching, what you're listening to, where the thoughts come from. You just can't trust nothing here.
Everything here came from the fallen ones. All your television shows. The reason why do you think that? Why do you think they took the rainbow, y'all? It's the most perverse people group you can think of. That's who took the rainbow. It's always been about us. It's always been about us, the rainbow. Okay, so keeping that in mind. And so that's what was going on during the days of Noah. Abominations, perversion and all that was at an all-time high because the fallen ones taught that to mankind. And so the Most High destroyed the Eretz and brought out a Kodesh seed and gave Noah the rainbow as the sign of the covenant with him on that, surrounding those things. Then you have, after the flood, now sin is rampant, and now perversion is at an all-time high again because the fallen ones then got a hold of mankind again. You see what I'm saying? And now this time, they're like, no, we're going to steal the rainbow from the Kodesh people. The very group that the Most High destroyed. The people giving over to perversion, the fallen ones, and all these things like that. Y'all think about it. Think about Sodom and Gomorrah. Think about Sodom and Gomorrah real quick. The Most High destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. We know about that, right? Wasn't that place steeped in perversion? Wasn't they just, I mean, they was trying to do all kind of stuff, even with the Malachim that visited. It was so perverse that even after Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot's children were mixed. Kodesh, wife was a Sodom and Gomorrahite though. His daughter was like, oh, let's lay with Dad. Where'd they get that from? That's what was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's where they got it from. They still had Sodom and Gomorrah in them. That was normal stuff in places like that because the scriptures are specific that you're not to do that. But the fallen ones had taught men every aspect of sexual immorality against Torah. It had man doing it all, every aspect of it. Incest, homosexuality, bestiality, the list goes on and on and on and on. And you know what's going on because Yahuwah had to put it in the Torah for us not to do that. I submit that wouldn't have had to been in the Torah if that wasn't something that was going on. I'm sorry. Right. You're not going to see like a commandment, don't eat dirt. Thou shalt not eat, dirt. That's an abomination. You're just not going to see that because that just wasn't an issue. Wasn't nobody doing that. Wasn't nobody doing that. So you can get an idea of what was going on, even surrounded by the commandments that had to be put out there to regulate, to make sure the mishpachah don't fall into them. So Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, and it was full of perversion. So you know that they was given over to the fallen ones big time. Fallen ones was all over there. And you know that because when the Kodesh Malachim came, it's like they already knew who they were. They was thinking they were the fallen ones because they was trying to have sex with them. What do you think the fallen ones were doing? They were coming and they was laying with mankind. So that's probably why when the Kodesh Malachim came, they're like, oh yeah, we want him, we want, you know what I'm saying? Now that's starting to make more sense. Y'all ain't never thought, why was they trying so hard? They wanted to get with the Malachim. They probably was doing that with the fallen ones. The fallen ones was the same thing as them. They was just fallen. So they modeled to them. They just like the fallen ones. The same thing. Not realizing, oh no, these are the Kodesh ones. These are the ones that did not. They did not. The 144,000 said they did not sleep with men. They did not sleep with women. They were virgins. And what did Yahuwah do? He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all. With fire and brimstone. All right. So this goes into Pesach, the significance of Pesach, okay? Pesach, all right. We've been, leadership been talking about this like a mug. I talked a lot with Akalesh about this a lot. I talked to Malek Yahusha about this, but it's just blown me away. So we had a meeting with Malek Musha, okay? This was 2 weeks ago, roughly. 2-3 weeks ago. And is that Hadanah? Okay. Oh, all right, we through. But so important when Yahuwah has something he's saying he's doing, do y'all listen? Yahuwah don't care about your opinion on what he's trying to do. He doesn't need you to do what he's trying to do. Sometimes we think the Most High gonna wait on us. Yeah, I just don't think. I just need to need time. I mean, he might be like, he might be like, oh well, I'll just get someone else who don't need time. He don't need you, but he wants you. But he don't need you. Don't get it twisted like Yahuwah needs you. And that he gonna wait around forever for you to do what he gonna want to do, or to do what his go. Cause not what he's trying to do. What he's doing is building. I submit this is the kingdom that was spoken of in Daniel, that's gonna last forever and ever. You really think your opinion gonna matter on what he needs to do to make that happen? I'm trying to understand the audacity that I'm trying to drill this home, because it's a level of audacity to think that our opinion matters on what Yahuwah is doing to build this everlasting kingdom that will never end, that is going to destroy and subdue all the nations on the Eretz, and bring order out and bring order into the whole Eretz that's been totally given over by chaos and disorder. That's how he's going to bring order into the Eretz. It's through y'all children. It's y'all children and children's children who's going to be the ones going subduing the enemies, y'all. We've seen this. We've seen the multiple visions, but Bakir Yamin Manu is a witness. We've seen it. We know that these generations after us, and really it's already happening now, are going to be the ones doing this thing. It's the stone, Eben. That's why part of the covenant is to turn the hearts of the fathers back to the sons and the hearts of the sons. That's Eben, father, son. And it's gonna destroy this foot, because this is where we at. I already proved to y'all this is where we at right now. So what is the issue? Should nothing matter more than this? Should nothing matter more than Yahuwah's purposes and his roles that he has for us and our lineage? You think he cleansing your bloodline for you? We need to eat, sleep, and breathe this kingdom. Don't nothing else matter, man. We gotta, like, for real. That's why we were announced and denounced this place last Shabbat. Man, that stone is us. Right now we're a stone. But we see right now in the scriptures that this stone is going to grow into a great mountain. That's going to fill the whole Eretz, y'all. We are going to fill the arrests. Go ahead, Bakir Yamin.
So part of the issue, because I heard a question when you was talking about that. We got to understand like the ancient mindset that we're going into. Because I know we talk about oaths, we talk about covenants, but unless you begin to study these things out, you're not going to understand it because it's not natural to you. You're not going to understand this because it's not natural. So when you look at the scriptures, you are not known as an individual. You're not an individual. Prove it. So look at the names. Look at how they called. It says Elijah, the Tishbite. Elisha, son of blah, blah, blah. Or Abraham, son of da, 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 da. There's always the lineage after the name is spoken. We do it here, but we just call it last names. It don't have weight to us. That's just first name, last name to us. But you're not an individual. Yahuwah don't see you as an individual. That's why, look at the Reubenites. Reuben slept with his father's wife, and their whole lineage was destroyed. Levi and Simeon went into a town. These two people, y'all. Levi and Simeon went into a town and destroyed that town, and then they father on his deathbed and said, Levi and Simeon, they weapons of destruction, let not my Ruach enter into their assembly. Scatter them throughout Israel because their anger is fierce and their wrath is cruel. It didn't matter what Jacob ben Simeon or I don't know, name here, son of Levi did. Because Yahuwah he don't see us as individuals. He sees us as a lineage, a bloodline. You're accounted for under a person. And I tell you, especially men. So, especially men. That's not something we're used to. Just be honest. That's not something we're used to. Because we used to, 18 years old, you go out the house and then you got to plant your feet in this spot and you got to stand on it. And then you got to build your house, and then you got to build your name. That's what we used to, but that's not how Yahuwah sees it. That's the example. So Levi was able to come back because, man, he just pleased Yahuwah with his obedience. That's why we here. But find a Simeonite in the scriptures. Find somebody who is this is Junebug, son of Simeon. You're not because they were scattered, all because of what their father did. So Yahusha says, "Who are my mother, my brother, and my sisters, except for the ones who do the will of my Father?" And they said, "Oh man," Kepha said, "Man, look, Master, we done left everything. We done left home. We done left homes. We done left family. We done left land. We done left all these things to follow you." Hey, look, this is what I'm telling you. Ain't nobody left anything that you won't receive 100-fold more in the kingdom. So these 100-fold families, these houses, the assemblies, is not something where if you're still waiting to be recognized as an individual, you're gonna miss it. You're going to miss it. If you're still waiting on somebody to make you feel special, you're going to miss it. Because you're not an individual. Yahuwah don't just see you as an individual. He sees you as a part of a lineage. Look at Elisha. So you know, we talked about this many times. The story of Elijah had this mantle on. He walked by Elisha, placed his mantle on Elisha. And that's why we know Elisha's name. If Elijah did not put his mantle on Elisha, we wouldn't be talking about no Elisha. We'd be talking about, I don't know, Derek. Right? I can't think of no Hebrew names for whatever reason, but we wouldn't be talking about Elisha. It always takes one patriarch, and then that patriarch has to continue to choose people down the line. And we're seeing the same thing. We're seeing that I can't get into like the Melech Yahusha, Melech Musha stuff right now, but they were, I say it this way, they was chosen, and then they began to put their mantles on people. They began to put their mantles on the Muslaim. And then the Muslaim turn around and put their mantles on the Bakirs, I don't know, the plural version of Bakirs. Same thing with the women. Malka Kail, Malka Yada, on and on and on and on. But this is what I'm trying to say. That part of the challenge in a hearing, because I heard the question when Mushal said it, but part of the challenge with our mindset with this kingdom is you want to be seen as an individual. You are part of a house, you are part of a province, you are part of a kingdom. If you step outside of those roles, there is no individual. Even people who want to think they individuals still giving over to another ruach. That's what they do. How many people try to duplicate Jordan? Try to duplicate your Ray Lewis, Michael Vicks. Growing up, we had a whole thing talking about some Mostum. You still duplicating somebody. Y'all know what most is? I see y'all, okay, yeah, she's like, yeah, I don't know what that was. Most? Y'all ain't Randy Moss, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude.
Oh, Randy
So you
Moss.
catch the ball with one hand, you be like, Most? I ain't done it, but I seen people do it.
Oh, okay.
Jordan, Kobe. Ain't nobody say Shaq. But anyway, y'all see what I'm saying? Like, life is really all about these duplications. But if you were offended in your thoughts about the whole assembly being cut off because of the Mushal, then you don't understand covenant. You don't understand the ancient East. Because Yahuwah is not the Elu of America. You can't approach him as if he gonna follow your American preferences. Because he's not. He's not gonna look at you and say, I love this one individual. He gonna look at Mushal and he gonna judge you based off of that standard. Well, I know we might not like that, but that's what it is.
Oh, snap. Wait, hold your point. Because what did Yahuwah do when he wanted to judge Mitzrayim? He hardened the heart of the leader.
Right.
He made the leader just horrible.
That's it.
Hardened his heart, made him arrogant, stubborn, and just stupid. Made him foolish in every way. And that's how he judged Mitzrayim by he jacked up their leader. And I said, man, that's what he doing in America too, y'all. You know, like that's how it goes. It's a judgment on the whole nation, but we don't know what was, we don't know. That's why you don't want to try to question the mind of Yahuwah. Like, we don't know what was going on and why, but that's how it went down. But yeah, keep going.
Nah, that was really about it. So I'm just saying the application of that understanding is you got to start seeing yourself as a part of the body instead of who's gonna look at me, what can I get, what can I call my own, Sheol. That's what you can call your own, because that's what they do. Even the Malachim that fell, he was going through in the Enoch. They had to make a pact with each other like, hey, look, man, we all gonna do this and we're not gonna turn on each other. But they did. They sons began to kill each other. So if you want something that's your own, you asking for Sheol, because the way that the kingdom works is it works through lineages. You're not going to have this realm where it's your own thing. You're not recognized as an individual in the eyes of Yahuwah. If you was like, man, I ain't get my name written in the book, you're not going to. No, y'all, just look at it. Even in Yahusha's day, this is going to be it because I just got to press this home. Even in Yahusha's day, go look at the disciples. It's going to tell you their name and then where they from. It's never going to be like this was an individual that Yahusha picked up. So we got to get out of that mindset, because that will make you an enemy of Akkad. Because you're waiting for somebody to treat you like you was in America, treating you like you just special being. That's what he was saying.
I didn't vote for that.
Right. That's not what I decided. I didn't vote on that. I didn't sign up for that. You can't make that decision without me. I don't agree with that. That's not how the kingdom operates. That's why every place you look, I challenge y'all, go through the scriptures and look at the names. It's always going to tell you who they people was. And if it don't say who they people was, it's going to tell you where they from, and then you'll know who they people was. But it's never an individual, and we gotta make sure that our mindset is on kingdom, because if your mindset is on kingdom, we got one goal, we got one submission, we got one thing that we trying to accomplish, because all the individualites got killed in the wilderness.
No, that's it. So with the following one, so the reason why, we in the No Hebrew Left Behind, Melech Yahusha was talking about Sheol. Do y'all remember that? On the No Hebrew Left Behind, Melech Yahusha, he was talking about Sheol. So what we were talking about on Shabbat is how, this past Shabbat, is how the nations have been, is called Sheol. According to the scriptures, the nations is called the grave, or Sheol. And I submit it's because the nations have been given over to the fallen ones. That's why. Because the fallen ones, what they did is they came to bring Sheol on the Eretz. While Abraham's bosom, the eternal excellency, this kingdom, this stone, is coming to bring the Shamayim onto the Eretz. So you have this contrast of these fallen Malachim are coming to bring Sheol on the Eretz, and they did it. It's so much so that the scriptures call all the nations Sheol. Anywhere outside of Abraham's bosom is Sheol. According to the script, even the scriptures. You read Ezekiel, you know what I'm saying? But then you have the Kodesh Malachim, because remember, we're Malachim. At least should be probably all of us, but at least the majority of us. The Malachim from the Shamayim, we were sitting here to bring the kingdom of the Shamayim onto the Eretz. So then you have these pockets of the Shamayim in the midst of Sheol that we call Abraham's bosom. Ain't it interesting that Yahuwah gave the revelation about Abraham's bosom right after Pesach? Y'all notice that? That was right after Pesach when that revelation came. That was right after Pesach when that sealing happened. I remember it was during the Count of the Omer. Yahuwah gave the revelation about Abraham's bosom. I was blown away. I brought it out to y'all. Then I brought it out again in front of all the West tribes. Y'all remember that? I brought it out again. We are in the stone form now. But you know what crushes the foot? The stone. Y'all know the mountain don't crush the foot. The mountain is not what knocks down the statue, is it? Was it? It was the stone, wasn't it? No wonder we've been declaring against the nations. No wonder this whole revelation surrounding the invasion is going on right now. This whole revelation surrounding the invasion, I don't think that happened. Yeah, that was right after Pesach. Yeah, because I remember when I first heard it was at Mushal Rose. So that was before Pesach? That was before Pesach. Mushal Rose wedding. That was right before Pesach. Can't remember. That's after Pesach? So that's right after. Oh, snap. So then there you go. I just remember Mushal Rose like, man, y'all don't got to come because I know, man, I know y'all just, man, nah, we coming. Don't worry about that. We got this. Because he knew it was, I remember it was close to Pesach. I just can't remember it was right before or right after. But real quick, this is the last thing. Malek Yahusha said something significant though. He said, I don't know if y'all caught this, because Malek Yahusha, he be talking so fast, man. I didn't catch it the first time. I didn't catch it till I listened to it again, the replay. Malek Yahusha said when King David was in Gath with the Philistines, that's what he was talking about in that psalm when he said, "You'll not leave my body in Sheol to see corruption." Y'all remember when he said that? So go to Joshua chapter 11. And we'll just read verse 21 and 22. So y'all know Joshua, or his name is Yahusha, son of Nun. Goes back to what Bakir Yamin was saying. He's not just Yahusha, he's Yahusha, son of Nun.
Okay, verse 21. And at that time Joshua came out and cut off the Anakim from the mountains, from Hebron.
So the Anakim are the fallen ones. Those are Nephilim. So those are the seed of the fallen ones. Okay, keep going.
From Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, from all the mountains of Judah, and from all the mountains of Israel. Joshua utterly destroyed them with their cities.
Joshua did what?
utterly destroyed them with their cities.
Who did Joshua destroy? Those are the Nephilim, right? The Anakim. Keep going, verse 22.
None of the Anakim were left in the land of the children of Israel. They remained only in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod.
They remained only where?
Gaza, Gath, and in Ashdod.
So Goliath was from Gath. Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod, that was Philistine territory, y'all. So what it's saying is that all the fallen ones were still, Joshua wiped them out of all the mainland of Israel, but there was still a lot left in the lands of the Philistines. Philistine was fallen Malachim territory is basically what it was saying here. So King David, he called that Sheol when he had to go live there. I submit it was because the fallen ones were there. Y'all get it? The Sheol is where the fallen ones have dominion at. That's Sheol. Which right now, that's all the nations. That's Sheol. In contrast, the kingdom is where Yahuwah's people are at and have dominion at. And we're in the middle of an invasion, where it's time for the land to be given back to the Kodashim. Give me Matthew chapter 16, verse 18. This will be, pretty sure this is the last verse. See, the name of the game is to keep you bound, and then is to keep you bound and in captivity. Why do we keep having to go into captivity? Why? It's because of our disobedience, and because the fallen ones, that was their goal, was to keep us in captivity, I submit. Because us being free means their demise. Why were we disobedient? We got to look at all this. Why were we disobedient? It's because of the fallen ones, y'all. We're dealing with ruachs. We're dealing with demons. We're in the place where they are. Every cage, unclean, everything is here. What are all they trying to do? They just trying to get you to sin. They want you to be disobedient to Yahuwah. That's the name of the game, is to get you to be disobedient to Yahuwah. If they can do that, they got you. They can keep you in captivity forever. And so what Yahuwah did, he raised up these leaders from Yasharel who were giant killers. Joshua went in there and he was killing giants left and right. I talked about this in the prep day call. Moshe was a giant killer. When Yahuwah raised up Moshe to take the children of Israel out of Mitzrayim, the fallen ones, man, they were in disarray about that because they knew that meant their demise. What happened after that? They were killing giants left and right. While the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they sacked King Og. They sacked the other king who was a giant. I can't remember his name. King Og, and there was another one. But it's all right if I don't remember. But no, Sihon, Todah. Sihon, King Og. This was in the wilderness. Joshua, we just read that in Joshua 11. He was killed. He was a giant killing Og. Then you go and you read about King David. How did King David start his ministry? Killing a giant. What did he kill the giant with? Oh, snap. He had 5 stones. Maybe he's trying to hit all 5 toes. To make sure that statue goes down. Because that was the symbol of it. Who is the kingdom that will never end, that the stone that's going to strike the statue and destroy it? It's the sons of David. Yeah. Yeah. Just last week, we denounced the cities where we was from, and then we declared that we were from Jerusalem, which is the city of Jerusalem, which is the city of? That's through David, Dawid, hallelujah. So, y'all like the resurrected tabernacle of Dawood, kings and priests. That's the part of the covenant. You saw that. Who do you think Daniel was? Who received that revelation? Listen, who do you think Daniel was? Y'all, we got to understand this stuff, man. Anybody know the tribe that Daniel was from? Does anybody know the tribe Daniel is from at all? It's okay if not. Say it loud. Anybody know that? Y'all knew that? Shannon, it's okay, because Shannon and Nathaniel knew, though. Daniel was a descendant of Hezekiah, right? Listen, when you read the book of Daniel, Daniel was of the nobility. That's why he was in there in the king's house with Nebuchadnezzar. Babylon would subdue all of Yehuda, but then he would take the nobility of Yehuda, of the nations they would destroy, and then he would try to learn them in the ways of Babylon to make them to try to have them function as Babylonians, basically. That was the way that Babylon subdued nations. They would take the Thub out, the most high, So Daniel was of the nobility of Yehuda. Daniel was a child of David, y'all. He was a descendant of David. He was a descendant of Hezekiah, as Bakir Yamin Manu brought out, which means he's a descendant of David. Y'all get it? Hezekiah was king of Judah. All the kings, y'all know that all the kings of Judah were descendants of David. If you read about any king of Yehuda, he was always, it's easy. Any king of Yehuda, there wasn't a king in Yehuda that was not a descendant of David. Did y'all know that? Well, let me rephrase that. You had King Saul, but then after King Saul, you had King David. Every descendant of King David, after Solomon, everything after that was, as far as Judah, the southern kingdom, were descendants of David. So it's easy. Daniel was a descendant of David. Don't take no guesswork, no serious. It don't take a whole lot of. You can even Google. It don't take a whole lot of research. Daniel was a descendant of David. He's the one who received the revelation that the stone would strike the statue. That represented his descendants too. That's probably why he was the one to receive the revelation. Y'all get what I'm saying? David struck Goliath in the head, killed him with the ebon. Then that started David's ministry. Then he became a giant killing soldier for the rest of his life, to the point to where he raised up a whole lot of people who duplicated them, and he had a whole giant killing army. And he was killing giants left and right along with his army, okay? Now, you fast forward, after Babylonian captivity, then you read under the Roman captivity, Yahushua HaMashiach comes into play during this time. It's called the Brit Hadashah. Everybody in Yasharel is just oppressed by these fallen ones, filled with demons. I mean, everybody. Then you had this dude named Yahushua HaMashiach, a son of light, son of the Most High, son of David. He's coming through with authority over these Ruachs. Come out in the name of Yahushua. Come out. Well, he don't have to say in the name of Yahushua. He just said, come out. Come out. Healing, casting out Ruachs. And then he did the same thing as his forefather, King David. He raised up a whole squad of Akim who duplicated him, called the apostles. They were all descendants of David. No, most of them. Most of them were Yahudim, descendants of David as well. I mean, I think maybe all of them. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they all descendants of David too, though. But nevertheless, either or, they're coming in now, and they're just, I'm talking about, man, they're like the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Come out in the name of Yahusha. And they coming in, and they just, I mean, man, dominion over these unclean ruachs, which are the fallen ones, right? The seed of the fallen ones. Do you know David, King David, after he killed the giants, y'all know he had dominion over unclean ruachs too. There was an unclean ruach on Saul, and what happened? They would go to King David. They would, man, King David, he plays the harp. He'll play the harp, remember, that ruach will come out. Fast forward to this time, and now you have this order that's been established on the Eretz. The eternal excellency, where it's this whole kingdom of people being rose up who have this authority over these fallen ones. Because I submit, having authority over these unclean ruachs is literally the same thing as like Joshua and them and Moshe and them when they were going and killing the giants, y'all. Casting out ruachs, having authority, going in, being able to have authority over principalities and powers. Y'all, that's the same thing, Josh. I submit that's the same thing. Just in a different way, in a more ruach way, that Joshua and them used to go into the land and take ground for the kingdom by killing the giants, y'all. Same thing. Oh, take this stuff serious, y'all. But I'll praise to the Most High.
Rebirth of a nation. Hebrew kingdom building.